Jungkook Pav, I opened my eyes and found myself on the bed of the hospital. I tried to remember what happened to me and how I ended up here, and then I remember that it stabbed me. I looked at my stomach. It was hard and painful for me to look. Jungkook Pav, the only thing in my mind is why she stabbed me. And her words. I remember her words. She said me and my mother wanted to kill her. I never imagined killing her in my life because she's my love. And about mom. She did wrong. Jungkook Pav, and I'll never forgive her for what she did to her. But she looked so different. How can she change so much? Her eyes are no more innocent. And her voice became deep. I just want to meet her. He tried to sit, but his mom stopped him. He looked at her and yanked her hand. Jungkook, don't touch me. Mom, Mrs. Jeon, Jungkook. Don't do this to me. I just want my revenge because of them. My husband died. Jungkook, I don't want to talk. Please leave me alone. Mrs. Jeon, but my son, Jungkook. I said leave me alone. She nodded while crying and went out. As we know, that Eun's master brainwashed her. She thinks that Jungkook is her enemy and he sold her, so she stabbed him. She's not in her sense. She just became heartless. She thinks that everyone is her enemy except her master. When she's gone from there, someone saw him on the road. He helped him and took him to the hospital. She thinks that her master is the only person who is good and nice. Now she lay down on the bed and closed her eyes, but suddenly she got some flashbacks. Jungkook, I love you so much, and he hugged her. She smiled and hugged him back. She immediately opened her eyes and sat down. YN, what the hell? He's my enemy. He just said this to make me fall into his trap. She said this to calm herself because she feels guilty. But she arrogantly ignored it and again fell down. While on the other hand, next day, Yoon's mom, Jungkook eats this. I made this for you. She handed him the food. Jungkook looked at her and then his mom. He feels guilty about Yoon's mom. Her best friend betrayed her and sold her daughter. Jungkook, okay, and after breakfast, he's alone in the room. He picked up his cell phone and dialed Lewis. Hi, Jungkook. Hi, Lewis. I want to talk to you about In. Next day, he was sleeping here. But suddenly, the cops arrested his mother. He woke up and asked Jungkook, what happened? A nurse said, Nurse, they came here to arrest your mom because she's behind your wife's death. Jungkook, death? He whispered, do you know how they can know about this? Nurse, someone reports about her. He tried to sit, but the nurse said, Nurse, don't sit, sir. Your wound didn't heal. He again lay down. He's so depressed because of her. Next day, Louis, Jungkook, we can find her here. He pointed at the pic. Jungkook, here, Louis, yeah, I hope she's here. Jungkook, okay, let's go. Now they are in the place. Louis, I just take a wooden rod. Jungkook stopped and looked at him. Jungkook, why? Louis, Jungkook, I know she's your wife, but she became so dangerous. She knows how to fight, and she also has a poison knife, so if she tried to kill us. Louis, I hit her on the head. Jungkook, no. Don't try to hurt her. They were talking to each other, but suddenly they felt that someone is behind them. They stopped and looked back. Jungkook, how can you know she's here? Louis, this is not the time to ask this. They heard the knife sound on the wall. Like someone is walking towards them. Louis, Jungkook, run. Jungkook, no. He looked at him and said, I'm going, and after saying this, Louis ran. Suddenly it appears in front of him. Jungkook, in. Why, man, don't you love your life? Ha, Jungkook, in. Come back to your senses. I'm your husband. I'm not your enemy, and I didn't sell you. She was about to stab him in the heart. But Louis hit her on the head and she fell in him. Louis, are you okay? Jungkook, yes. He held her and sat down. Jungkook, shut up, Louis. He walked towards her and sat on his knees and said, Louis left me alone with my wife. Louis, okay. He WNT out Jungkook, and please believe me, I'm not your enemy. My love, why then? Do you think I'm a fool? Now he's sitting with her mother. Why, Mom, I can't believe that your mother did this. I think she's my best friend. She said while crying. Jungkook, I apologize on her behalf. If you need something, then tell me.